There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide whether they are going to keep living from their old story or start creating a new one. Many people say they want a different future, but every day they continue to repeat the same thoughts, the same fears, the same excuses, and the same emotional patterns that created the life they now want to escape. They want more confidence, but they keep telling themselves they are not ready. They want success, but they keep reminding themselves of every time they failed. They want peace, but they keep replaying the people who hurt them, the chances they missed, and the mistakes they cannot change. And slowly, without realizing it, they turn the past into a prison. But your past is not supposed to be a prison. It is supposed to be a classroom. Everything you have been through can either become a chain around your mind or a lesson under your feet. The difference is not what happened. The difference is what you decide it means. Two people can go through the same failure. One person says, "This proves I am not good enough." The other person says, "This shows me what I need to learn." One person uses rejection as evidence that they should stop trying. Another person uses rejection as training for emotional strength. One person carries pain as an identity. Another person turns pain into wisdom. The events of your life do not have the final word. Your interpretation does. If you keep telling yourself that you are broken, unlucky, too late, too old, too young, too ordinary, or too damaged to change, then your mind will begin to look for proof. It will find every reason to stay small. It will remind you of every embarrassing moment, every disappointment, every person who doubted you, and every time you gave up. The mind is powerful, but it is also obedient. If you give it the command to prove your weakness, it will search for weakness. If you give it the command to find possibility, it will begin to find doors you did not notice before. This is why mindset matters. Mindset is not just positive thinking. It is the lens through which you interpret life. It is the inner voice that decides whether a problem is a wall or a lesson, whether a delay is a defeat or preparation, whether criticism is an attack or information, whether failure is proof you should quit or proof you are learning. A weak mindset asks, "Why is this happening to me?" A stronger mindset asks, "What can this teach me?" A weak mindset says, "I failed, so I am a failure." A stronger mindset says, "I failed, so now I have data." A weak mindset waits for life to become easy before it moves. A stronger mindset moves while life is still uncertain. You cannot always choose the first chapter of your story. You may not have chosen your childhood, your environment, your family situation, your early opportunities, or the words people spoke over you, but you can choose whether those things become the entire book. You can choose whether the next chapter is written by fear or by responsibility. Responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that happened. It means taking back the power to decide what happens next. It means saying, "Maybe I could not control everything behind me, but I can control the direction of my next step." Many people are waiting for someone to give them permission to become who they really are. They are waiting for a parent to approve, a friend to understand, a partner to support, an audience to clap, or the world to say, "Now you are ready." But the truth is, no one can give you the permission that you refuse to give yourself. If you wait until everyone understands your dream, you may wait forever. If you wait until there is no fear, you may never begin. If you wait until the path is perfectly clear, you may never take the first step. Life does not give clarity to people who only stand still. Clarity often comes while walking. The first step toward a new life is not always a big action. Sometimes it is a quiet decision. It is the decision to stop speaking to yourself like an enemy. It is the decision to stop using old wounds as reasons to stay frozen. It is the decision to stop letting other people's opinions become the ceiling of your potential. It is the decision to stop saying, "This is just who I am," when what you really mean is, "This is what I have practiced for a long time." There is a difference between identity and habit. A habit can be changed. A pattern can be interrupted. A belief can be questioned. A new version of you can be built, one choice at a time. Think about how many people carry invisible weight. They wake up every morning and carry the memory of who left, who laughed, who criticized, who betrayed, who underestimated, and who never believed in them. They carry old mistakes as if they still have to pay for them every day. They carry shame from a version of themselves that no longer exists. Then they wonder why they feel so tired. Sometimes the heaviest thing in your life is not your current responsibility. It is an old story you keep carrying into every new day. To grow, you must learn to release the need to keep proving your pain. Some people hold on to resentment because it makes them feel justified. They think, if I let go, it means what happened was okay. But letting go does not mean the past was acceptable. It means the past no longer gets to control your energy. It means you stop drinking the poison of resentment while waiting for someone else to suffer. Anger may feel powerful at first, but when you carry it for too long, it becomes a cage. Bitterness does not punish the person who hurt you. It quietly hardens your own heart. A strong mindset does not deny pain. It transforms it. It says, I will not let this make me smaller. It says, I will not become cruel because life was cruel to me. It says, I will not let one season of disappointment define my entire identity. This is real strength. Not pretending everything is fine. Not smiling while breaking inside. But taking the pain and refusing to let it turn you into a person you do not want to become. There is another trap that keeps people stuck: the need to be offended. Every day, there are endless reasons to be upset. Someone speaks in a way you do not like. Someone disagrees with you. Someone lives differently. Someone ignores you. Someone posts something that irritates you. The world gives you hundreds of opportunities to be offended. But if you accept every invitation, your mind becomes exhausted. You begin to live as if peace depends on everyone else behaving exactly the way you prefer. And that is a powerless way to live. A free mind is not a mind that agrees with everything. It is a mind that is not controlled by everything. You can listen without becoming angry. You can disagree without becoming bitter. You can see another person's opinion and say, that is an interesting point of view, without making it an attack on your identity. Emotional maturity is not the absence of strong opinions. It is the ability to remain centered when the world does not match your expectations. If you want to change your life, start by protecting your attention. What you repeatedly focus on will expand in your mind. If you focus on disrespect, you will find it everywhere. If you focus on limitation, everything will look impossible. If you focus on the people who do not support you, you will miss the people who do. If you focus only on what is missing, you will become blind to what is growing. Your attention is not a small thing. Your attention is the doorway to your emotional world. This is why gratitude is not just a nice habit. It is mental training. Gratitude teaches the mind to notice what is still good, still possible, still alive, still available. It does not mean ignoring problems. It means refusing to let problems become the only thing you see. A person who can notice one small blessing in a difficult season has already begun to reclaim their inner power. Because the mind that can see possibility in difficulty is the mind that can keep moving. Motivation is often misunderstood. Many people think motivation is a feeling that appears first and then creates action. But often, action comes first, and motivation follows. You do not wait to feel strong before you train. You train, and strength develops. You do not wait to feel confident before you speak. You speak, and confidence grows. You do not wait to feel ready before you begin. You begin, and readiness is built through experience. If you always wait for the perfect feeling, your life will be controlled by moods. But if you learn to act according to your values, even when your mood is low, you become powerful. This is where discipline becomes freedom. At first, discipline feels like restriction. It feels like saying no to comfort, no to excuses, no to the easy path. But over time, discipline becomes the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It gives you proof. Every time you do what you said you would do, you strengthen trust with yourself. Every small promise kept becomes a brick in the foundation of self-respect. Every small action repeated becomes evidence that you are no longer the person who only talks. You are becoming the person who follows through. You do not need to change your entire life today. You only need to stop betraying yourself in small ways. Stop promising yourself that tomorrow will be different while repeating the same choices today. Stop saying you want peace while feeding your mind with chaos. Stop saying you want growth while avoiding every situation that challenges you. Stop saying you want confidence while speaking to yourself with constant criticism. The future is not built in a dramatic moment. It is built in the quiet pattern of daily choices. If you want a new life, begin with a new inner conversation. Replace "I cannot" with "I can learn." Replace "it is too late" with "I can start from where I am." Replace "people will judge me" with "people judge anyway, but I still have to live my life." Replace "I failed before" with "I have experience now." Replace "I am not ready" with "I am willing to begin imperfectly." These are not empty phrases. These are new instructions to your mind. Your life begins to change when your inner voice changes. Because the voice you hear most often is your own. If that voice is always harsh, fearful, and defeated, you will move through the world like someone already expecting to lose. But if that voice becomes calm, honest, responsible, and encouraging, you will begin to stand differently. You will begin to choose differently. You will begin to see opportunities where before you only saw threats. Do not underestimate the power of one decision made with a clear mind. One decision to forgive, one decision to begin, one decision to learn, one decision to stop chasing approval, one decision to take responsibility, one decision to stop living from the old story. A life can turn slowly, then suddenly, and often. The turning point does not look dramatic from the outside. It happens quietly inside a person who finally says, "I am not going to live like this anymore." That is where the new chapter begins. When life puts pressure on you, it reveals what you have been carrying inside. It is easy to be kind when everyone agrees with you. It is easy to be calm when everything is going well. It is easy to believe in yourself when results are coming quickly. But pressure has a way of showing the truth. When someone criticizes you, what comes out? When a plan fails, what comes out? When you are delayed, rejected, ignored, misunderstood, or disappointed, what comes out? Anger, blame, fear, panic, or patience, responsibility, and strength. Imagine holding an orange in your hand. If you squeeze it, orange juice comes out, not because of who squeezed it, not because of the time of day, not because of the weather. Orange juice comes out because that is what was inside. People are similar. When life squeezes you, what comes out is what has been growing inside you. If bitterness comes out, bitterness was there. If courage comes out, courage was there. If blame comes out, blame was there. If wisdom comes out, wisdom was there. Pressure does not create your inner world. Pressure reveals it. This can be uncomfortable to admit, because it means we can no longer blame every reaction on the outside world. We may not control what people say, what happens in the economy, how others treat us, what delays appear, or what problems come unexpectedly, but we do have responsibility for what we cultivate inside. If you spend every day feeding fear, fear will answer when pressure comes. If you spend every day feeding resentment, resentment will speak when you are challenged. If you spend every day practicing calm, gratitude, patience, and discipline, those qualities will become more available when life becomes difficult. You cannot give to life what you do not have within yourself. A person who has no peace inside cannot spread peace for very long. A person who has no self-respect will struggle to build healthy relationships. A person who does not believe they are worthy will often reject opportunities or sabotage them. A person who carries only scarcity will see competition everywhere. A person who carries only anger will turn small moments into battles. What is inside you becomes the atmosphere around you. This is why personal growth is not just about goals. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle those goals. Many people say they want success, but they have not built the emotional capacity to carry it. They want more money, but they still make decisions from insecurity. They want influence, but they still need constant approval. They want better relationships, but they still react from old wounds. They want freedom, but they still have no discipline. If you receive something before you are internally prepared for it, it may not become a blessing. It may become pressure. Before life changes around you, something must change within you. If you want to be trusted, become trustworthy with small things. If you want confidence, keep promises to yourself. If you want peace, stop feeding thoughts that create war inside your mind. If you want abundance, stop approaching life only with the energy of taking and start asking how you can serve, solve, create, and contribute. The world responds differently to a person who enters every room asking, "What can I give?" instead of, "What can I get?" This does not mean you should become a person with no boundaries. Serving does not mean sacrificing yourself until you are empty. It means shifting from desperation to contribution. A desperate mind says, "Give me, notice me, approve me, save me." A contribution mindset says, "How can I bring value? How can I help? How can I improve? How can I use what I have?" This shift changes everything. When you focus only on what you can take, you feel poor even when you receive. When you focus on what you can build and give, you begin to feel powerful even before the reward arrives. Scarcity is not only a financial condition, it is also a mental condition. A person can have money and still live in scarcity. They may constantly fear losing, constantly compare, constantly feel behind, constantly need more to feel enough. Another person may have little but still carry abundance in their mindset because they see possibility. They learn, they give, they build, and they trust their ability to grow. Abundance begins with the belief that life is not finished, that your current situation is not your final identity, and that you can create value from where you are. But to create value, you must stop weakening yourself with the wrong thoughts. Some thoughts give you strength. Others drain you. Thoughts of shame weaken you. Thoughts of constant fear weaken you. Thoughts of revenge weaken you. Thoughts of envy weaken you. Thoughts that say, I am helpless, weaken you. Thoughts that say, there is nothing I can do, weaken you. But thoughts of responsibility strengthen you. Thoughts of love strengthen you. Thoughts of possibility strengthen you. Thoughts of discipline strengthen you. Thoughts of service strengthen you. The mind is not neutral. What you think repeatedly changes how you feel, and how you feel influences what you do. This is not about pretending everything is easy. Life is not always easy. There will be seasons where you are tired, uncertain, disappointed, and stretched, but you can be honest about difficulty without surrendering your mind to defeat. You can say, this is hard, without saying, I cannot handle it. You can say, I am afraid, without saying, fear will decide for me. You can say, I failed, without saying, I am a failure. Strong thinking is not fake positivity. It is accurate, responsible, and empowering. One of the most important skills in life is learning to pause before reacting. Between what happens to you and what you do next, there is a small space. In that space lives your freedom. A person without awareness reacts immediately. They are insulted, so they insult back. They are afraid, so they quit. They are rejected, so they shrink. They are criticized, so they attack. But a person with awareness pauses. They ask, what is the wise response here? That pause can save a relationship, a business decision, a reputation, and sometimes an entire future. Your emotions are real, but they are not always wise. Anger may tell you to destroy something that patience could repair. Fear may tell you to avoid something that courage could transform. Pride may tell you to protect your image when honesty could set you free. Envy may tell you that someone else's success is a threat, when in reality it could be proof of possibility. This is why you must learn to listen to your emotions without letting them become your master. A powerful mindset is not built in comfort. It is built in the moments when you choose your response. When you are tempted to complain, but you choose to learn. When you are tempted to blame, but you choose responsibility. When you are tempted to quit, but you choose one more honest attempt. When you are tempted to compare, but you choose gratitude. These small inner victories may not be visible to the world, but they are the foundation of a strong life. Many people think success is created by one giant breakthrough, but most success is created by invisible repetition. You practice when no one is watching. You keep going when results are small. You improve when feedback is uncomfortable. You show up when motivation is gone. You do not become strong because life never tests you. You become strong because each test becomes training. This matters especially in the beginning of any journey. When you start something new, the early results are often small. Your first video may get no views. Your first business idea may not work. Your first speech may feel awkward. Your first attempt may be full of mistakes. But beginnings are not supposed to prove your greatness. Beginnings are supposed to build your foundation. Too many people quit because the first version of their dream does not look impressive. They forget that every skill has an awkward stage. Every master was once a beginner. Every confident person once had to move through uncertainty. Do not judge your future by the weakness of your first attempt. The first attempt is not the final verdict. It is the first lesson. If you look at a small result and say, this means I am not meant for this, you close the door too early. But if you say, this is information, you become a learner. Learners improve. Learners adjust. Learners test. Learners become dangerous in the best way. Because they do not need every result to protect their ego. They use every result to sharpen their method. This is how momentum begins. You do one thing, then another. You learn one lesson, then another. At first, progress feels slow. Then one day, you realize you are no longer the person who was afraid to begin. You have evidence now. You have experience now. You have resilience now. The person you become through the process is often more valuable than the result you were chasing. But there is one thing you must protect: your inner environment. Your mind is like a room. You cannot invite every voice into it and expect peace. If you constantly listen to negativity, mockery, fear, gossip, and comparison, your inner world will become crowded and noisy. You must become careful about what you allow to shape your thinking. Not every opinion deserves a home in your mind. Not every criticism deserves your energy. Not every fear deserves your obedience. Not every voice is qualified to guide your life. This does not mean you ignore feedback. Wise people listen, but they also filter. They ask, is this person trying to help me grow? Or are they trying to pull me back into their own fear? They ask, is this criticism useful? Or is it just noise? They ask, does this advice come from someone living in the direction I want to go? You do not have to reject everyone, but you must choose carefully whose words you allow to become your beliefs. The desire for approval can become a quiet prison. It is normal to enjoy appreciation. It is human to like encouragement. But needing approval is different. When you need approval, you hand other people the remote control to your life. If they clap, you feel worthy. If they are silent, you feel small. If they criticize, you stop moving. A person who needs approval cannot be fully free, because they must constantly ask the world for permission. The people who create meaningful lives are often not the people who were approved by everyone. They are the people who learned to move with integrity even when approval was uncertain. They listened to their inner calling. They followed the work that felt aligned. They kept building when others did not understand. They were not reckless, but they were also not controlled by the fear of being misunderstood. To live this way, you must develop self-trust. Self-trust is not arrogance. It is not believing you are always right. It is believing that even if you are wrong, you can learn. Even if you fail, you can recover. Even if you are criticized, you can remain grounded. Even if the path changes, you can adapt. Self-trust is the belief that you will not abandon yourself. And this begins with honesty. Be honest about what is not working. Be honest about where you are making excuses. Be honest about the habits that are weakening you. Be honest about the dream you keep postponing. Be honest about the fear you keep hiding behind logic. Honesty may be uncomfortable, but it is also freeing. You cannot change a life you keep lying about. Once you become honest, the next step is simple. Take one aligned action. Not a perfect action, not a dramatic action, one aligned action. Write the first page, record the first video, make the first call, clean the first corner, save the first small amount, apologize for the first mistake, study the first lesson, walk the first 10 minutes. The size of the action matters less than the direction. Every aligned action tells your mind, we are moving now. And movement changes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who only dreams. You become someone who practices. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always quits. You become someone who returns. You stop seeing yourself as someone waiting to be rescued. You become someone participating in your own transformation. This is where real motivation lives. Not in a loud speech. Not in a temporary rush. Real motivation lives in the quiet belief that your life is worth your effort. It lives in the understanding that you are not here just to survive old patterns. You are here to grow. To serve, to create, to love, to learn, and to become more fully yourself. What is inside you will come out. So fill yourself with what you want to give. Fill yourself with courage, and courage will come out under pressure. Fill yourself with patience, and patience will come out in conflict. Fill yourself with gratitude, and gratitude will come out in uncertainty. Fill yourself with discipline, and discipline will come out when motivation disappears. Fill yourself with love, and love will come out when life squeezes you. That is how you become powerful from the inside out. Every person carries a kind of music inside them, not always a literal song, but a calling, a gift, a message, a dream, a direction, a version of life that keeps whispering from within. For one person, that music may be a book they want to write. For another, it may be a business they want to build. For another, it may be teaching, creating, helping, healing, speaking, traveling, learning, leading, or simply becoming a stronger and more peaceful human being. The form is different for each person, but the feeling is similar. Deep inside, you know there is something in you that has not been fully expressed yet. The tragedy is that many people silence that music, not because it disappears, but because fear becomes louder. They are afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of starting too late, afraid of not being talented enough, afraid of looking foolish, afraid that if they try and it does not work, they will lose the comfort of imagining what could have been. So they keep the dream safe by never testing it. But a dream that is never acted on does not stay safe. It slowly becomes regret. There is a special kind of pain that comes from not living honestly with yourself. It is not always loud. It may appear as restlessness, jealousy, boredom, frustration, or the feeling that something is missing even when life looks fine from the outside. You may have responsibilities. You may have a routine. You may be doing what people expect. But inside, there is still a question: what if I was meant to do more than this? That question should not be ignored. It may be the sound of your own life asking you to wake up. Do not misunderstand this. Living your music does not mean abandoning everything irresponsibly. It does not mean chasing every impulse. It does not mean ignoring your duties. It means honoring the part of you that knows growth is necessary. It means taking your inner calling seriously enough to give it time, effort, and discipline. It means not reducing your life to fear and routine. It means asking, what is the work that would make me feel alive, useful, and aligned? Many people wait for certainty before they begin, but certainty is often a reward, not a requirement. You do not always get certainty at the start. You get a pull, a curiosity, a possibility, a small inner voice. If you honor that voice with action, the path becomes clearer. If you ignore it, it becomes quieter, but it does not fully disappear. It waits, and sometimes, it returns as regret. The fear of failure has stolen more dreams than failure itself. Failure is usually not the final enemy. Failure is information. Failure tells you what needs adjustment. It tells you where your skill is weak, where your preparation was incomplete, where your message did not connect, where your strategy needs refinement. But fear tells you not to try at all. Fear says, stay where it is familiar. Fear says, do not risk embarrassment. Fear says, other people are better than you. Fear says, what if it does not work? But courage asks a better question: what if I grow because I tried? If you want to live fully, you must develop a new relationship with failure. Stop treating failure like proof that you are not enough. Treat it like part of the training. A child learning to walk does not take one step, fall down, and decide walking is not meant for them. They fall, rise, adjust, and try again. Somewhere along the way, they stop falling so often. Growth works the same way. You learn by moving, not by waiting to be flawless. The world often celebrates the final result but ignores the invisible process. People see the successful video, not the 50 that failed. They see the confident speaker, not the years of nervous practice. They see the strong business, not the months of uncertainty. They see the calm person, not the private battles they fought to become that way. This is why comparison is dangerous. You compare your beginning to someone else's chapter 20. Then you conclude that you are behind. But you are not behind. You are simply at your own stage of the process. Your job is not to be impressive on day one. Your job is to be committed. Commitment is more powerful than excitement. Excitement starts things. Commitment continues them. Excitement loves the dream. Commitment loves the discipline. Excitement imagines the result. Commitment shows up for the practice. If you only move when you feel excited, your progress will be inconsistent. But if you move because the work matters, you become steady, and steady people eventually become strong. There will be days when no one notices. Keep going. There will be days when the numbers are small. Keep learning. There will be days when your work feels clumsy. Keep improving. There will be days when others move faster. Keep focusing. There will be days when you question yourself. Keep returning to your reason. Success is not built by people who never doubt. It is built by people who do not let doubt make every decision. You must also be careful not to confuse more with meaning. Many people chase success because they believe one more achievement will finally make them feel enough. One more number, one more title, one more compliment, one more milestone. But if the mind is trained to feel incomplete, no achievement will be enough for long. The goal will move, the hunger will return, the applause will fade. This is why inner peace must grow alongside ambition. Otherwise, ambition becomes endless chasing. Healthy ambition says, I want to grow because life has placed potential in me. Unhealthy ambition says, I must achieve more to prove I am worthy. Those two energies create very different lives. One is rooted in purpose. The other is rooted in fear. One creates fulfillment. The other creates exhaustion. You can work hard without hating who you are today. You can desire improvement without insulting your current self. You can pursue a bigger future while still appreciating the present. In fact, appreciation gives strength to the journey. If you cannot appreciate small progress, you will struggle to enjoy large success. If you cannot be grateful while building, you may not be peaceful after arriving. Gratitude does not make you lazy. It makes you stable. It reminds you that your worth is not waiting at the finish line. You are allowed to grow from a place of self-respect, not self-rejection. Silence can help you hear this. In a noisy world, many people lose contact with their own inner wisdom. They know what everyone else thinks. They know what the internet says. They know what society praises. But they do not know what their own soul is asking for. They are surrounded by sound, but disconnected from guidance. This is why moments of silence are powerful. Silence is not empty. Silence is where you can hear what constant noise has been covering. When you sit quietly and ask honest questions, something begins to surface. What am I avoiding? What am I afraid to admit? What do I keep postponing? What kind of person am I becoming? What would I do if I stopped living for approval? These questions may not be comfortable, but they are necessary. Comfort often protects the old life. Honest questions open the door to the new one. Your life needs both action and reflection. Action without reflection can become busyness. Reflection without action can become dreaming. You need both. You need the silence to hear the music and the discipline to play it. You need the vision to see what is possible and the humility to practice the next small step. You need faith in your potential and honesty about your current habits. One of the strongest signs of maturity is the ability to change your mind. Many people keep defending old choices simply because they do not want to admit they were wrong. But admitting something did not work is not weakness. It is intelligence. If a belief is weakening you, change it. If a habit is damaging you, change it. If a relationship pattern keeps repeating pain, examine it. If a strategy is not producing results, adjust it. You do not have to keep living from a mind that created the problem. To solve a problem, you often have to rise into a new way of thinking. This is especially true when it comes to identity. If you keep saying, "I am just not that kind of person," you may be protecting a limitation. Maybe you were not that kind of person before. But who are you becoming now? Maybe you were not disciplined before. Maybe you were not confident before. Maybe you were not brave before. But identity can be trained through action. Every time you act with courage, you vote for a braver self. Every time you keep a promise, you vote for a disciplined self. Every time you choose learning over embarrassment, you vote for a growing self. Do not wait until you feel like the person you want to become. Start acting in alignment with that person now. If you want to become a creator, create. If you want to become a leader, take responsibility. If you want to become healthy, practice healthy choices. If you want to become peaceful, practice peaceful responses. If you want to become wise, study and reflect. The feeling follows the practice. The identity follows the evidence. And when you begin to change, do not be surprised if some people do not understand. Growth can make others uncomfortable, especially those who only knew the old version of you. They may question you, they may tease you, they may doubt you, they may try to pull you back into familiar patterns. But you must remember, your life is not a committee decision. You can love people without letting them decide your limits. You can respect people without obeying their fear. You can listen to advice without surrendering your calling. The music inside you was not placed there for everyone else to approve before it is played. It is your responsibility to listen, practice, and express it with integrity. Not perfectly, not loudly, not all at once, but faithfully. Think about the future version of yourself watching you today. What would they hope you choose? Would they hope you stay frozen because the beginning feels uncertain? Or would they hope you take the step? Would they want you to keep replaying old pain? Or to turn it into wisdom? Would they want you to keep needing approval? Or to finally trust your path? Would they want you to keep saying, "someday"? Or to begin now with what you have? One day, your life will be built from the choices you are making in this season. The habits you repeat now will become your future identity. The thoughts you feed now will become your emotional home. The actions you avoid now may become tomorrow's regret. The courage you practice now may become tomorrow's freedom. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. You do not need to become extraordinary overnight. You only need to stop abandoning the part of you that knows you are capable of more. You only need to take the next honest step. Then the next. Then the next. A meaningful life is not built by one perfect leap. It is built by many faithful steps. So begin where you are. Begin with the fear still present. Begin with imperfect skill. Begin with small time. Begin with a quiet room. A simple plan, a single promise, a single action. Begin before you feel fully ready. Because readiness is not something you wait for. Readiness is something you build. And when the world feels noisy, return to the simple truth. Your mindset is the soil. Your actions are the seeds. Time is the season, and your future is the harvest. If you plant fear every day, fear will grow. If you plant discipline, discipline will grow. If you plant resentment, resentment will grow. If you plant gratitude, gratitude will grow. If you plant courage, courage will grow. You cannot control every storm, but you can choose what you keep planting. Do not leave your music unplayed. Do not hide your gift behind fear. Do not let old stories decide new possibilities. Do not wait until the final years of your life to realize that the opinion of others was never worth the cost of betraying yourself. You are here for more than survival. You are here to grow, to contribute, to learn, to love, and to become fully alive. The world may not notice your first step. Take it anyway. People may not understand your dream. Build it anyway. Fear may walk beside you. Move anyway. Results may take time. Continue anyway. Because the real victory is not just reaching the destination. The real victory is becoming the kind of person who no longer runs from their own potential. Change your mindset, and your choices begin to change. Change your choices, and your habits begin to change. Change your habits, and your identity begins to change. Change your identity, and your life begins to change. And one day, you will look back and realize that the turning point was not the moment when everything became easy. It was the moment you decided to stop living from fear and start living from possibility. It was the moment you took responsibility for your mind. It was the moment you stopped waiting for permission. It was the moment you finally listened to the music inside you and chose to play it. One note at a time. Follow Money Story Lab for more real stories, powerful mindset lessons, and hidden truths that help you build a stronger life.